Hello and welcome to another 7-in-a-box instructional video. Today we're just going to show you how to test all the inputs and outputs of ebot using mblock Scratch. So the first thing we need to do is, so we're going to work through these. This is a little checklist here. Inputs, and we've got outputs, so that's just a Word document that's available on STEM Academy, which you can download and give to your students if you wish. Strongly recommended that they do this every lesson. Okay, great, so we're just going to work through that. First thing is you want to make sure you've got a fresh copy of, so I've just opened up ebot app, you want to make sure you've got a fresh copy of the ebot firmware. So ABR Dude is just uploading our firmware into ebot. You can't use mblock, so everything's fine there. That's great. Now I'm not going to use ebot app to do anything with this. I'm going to use mblock Scratch. Okay, so that's disconnected, so I want to close that. So now I'm going to open up mblock. Right. Okay, first thing is you need to make sure that you've got the appropriate extensions. I'm using Junior today, so I have those extensions here. If you have the Pro, then you need to make sure you have the latest extensions and that you have them installed, which I do. Right, now the board, you need to tell it that it's an mbot. Even though it's an ebot, you need to tell it that it's an mbot. Great, so now we're going to connect the serial port, which it is connected. How do you know it's connected? Well, it says up the top that it's connected. Our firmware also flashes the LED so that you know it's connected. And thirdly, when you go to robots, these green circles, these circles are green rather than red. Okay, so you need to just open up the appropriate extension. So if you were doing ebot Pro, then you would open up that one. I'm just doing the Junior, so I'm going to use that one. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to work through these. We have 5 inputs. The Pro will have an extra ultrasonic, but one less trim pot. So we're going to work through left and right hand light sensors, ultrasonic sensor, the X and Y trim pot, and the push button. So to do that, we need to create the appropriate number of variables. So the first one I'm going to make is left hand side light. Second one is going to be right hand side light. Now ultrasonic, which is the distance sensor. We're going to have X joystick and Y joystick. Now the ebot Pro only has one joystick, and last one will be the push button. Great, so that's our 5 variables. So now what we need to do is just drop those variables. We just need to actually drop the sensor readings into the variables and run the code. Great, so we go to robots. I'm going to Junior, so we need to drag the set command, so we're going to need 5 of them. 2, 3, 4. So let's start with left hand light, right hand light, ultrasonic, X joystick, Y joystick, and we need one more for button. Terrific, so let's now go drop those sensor readings in there. So we will want right hand and left hand light, the distance, the joystick, the Y joystick, and the button. Put that in a control, in a forever loop, in control. And the last thing we want to do is, you're best to put the LED onto 100% red, so you don't get it flickering at all. So let's just make the line sensor 100% red. Okay? Now, if we click that now, we should get that code going, which it is. And so let's run through. Left hand light sensor is about 600, or wobble it around a little bit. That's fine, so we're getting about 600. The right hand one is about 325. Doesn't really matter, you just need to know the numbers. So it's about 600 and 350. Now you need to get something black. So the 600 for the left has dropped down to about 260, 270, and the 350 for the right has dropped down to about 120. That's fine, so you just need to remember those values. That's a massive difference. So we're not going to do the, I'm not going to show you how to set it up as a colour sensor today. Well, we can do that. It's quite easy, but I'm not going to show you in this video. Great, so left and right hand colour sensors going fine. Let's check out the ultrasonic. Yes, it's reading in centimetres, but what you'll notice is that from time to time it does give a 0 value. Now the ultrasonics do that when they don't get an echo back, they don't get a ping back, and we just need to remember that basically anything under 3 is rubbish, could be false value, so we need to not pay attention to those when we write our if then else statement using the ultrasonic sensor. Now let's turn ebot around and let's check the joystick. So X is negative 100, so we've scaled it to do that. 0, they should be 0 in the middle position, which it is. Go to the right, it's 100. Go down, it should be negative Y, negative 100, correct. 0, positive, so that's working perfectly. Now let's push the button, and we're getting just a little bit stiff there. But if I push the button, we're getting 1 for on and 0 for off. Great, so all of the inputs are working fine, and we would just put this in here. So we might go 600 white, and we might go, what did it go down to? I can't remember now, 250 I think it was, black, and the right hand one I think started at 350 white, and then black was I think about 110. So I'm going to write here less than 3 is rubbish, others okay. That's not on my junior. Joystick, I've got 2 of them, so I could go add another one here. So joystick, let's make that Y, and let's make that X. So that was negative 100, left to 100 right hand side, and same, well it was actually negative 100 was down, so it's the same as the number line, that's the way we set it up, to 100 up, and the push button was 0 is off and 1 is on or pushed. Now it's really good to get the students to write this up because they need to memorise this. They need to know what the robot, what is a typical input that the robot will be getting for all of its sensors. If the kids aren't familiar with that, then that's half the battle. Great. And now this is an input check. So that's pretty much the end of the input check